might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Everything Simulated GT3 E-Series here, round number 12 from the Redbull Ring here tonight. Excited for this. We saw great racing last week. Before we get into all the formalities, the guys are in qualifying, 8 minutes to go, and we will show you where your favourite driver is. But good evening to you, Steve. Before we go through all those formalities, good evening to you, Steve, and thanks for joining me in the box again tonight here for what will be round 12 at Redbull Ring.
Yeah, at Redbull Ring, we've got the big bull there, fertilising the infield and watching what's happening on track there at the moment. We're looking at Riley Curtis, and pretty happy to be here, mate. We'll get this one done and dusted, and I think we've got about 3 rounds after this one, so the championship is coming down to it.
It is, and we do have Pro and Pro-Am tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For everyone tuning in here for the Everything Simulated GT3 series, there are 2 races within one. We do have the Pros and the Pro-Am. At the moment, the top of the Pros is Christopher Island with a 1:29.816, as you see on your screen on the leaderboard there, with Fit there in second, who did a great job in the last round, up there in second place with the 1:29.930, and Andrew Dyson, the ever consistent Andrew Dyson, up there in third place with a 1:29.997. So just under 0.2 of a second between the top 3, and then your first AM driver comes in, Bradley Cooper there with a 1:32.69. He's outdone Ryan Jones and Dwayne Burns at the moment in the pro split, 1:34.82 and a 1:30.5. So a couple of the AM drivers might shake the feathers a little bit tonight here, Steve, as we're through qualifying and play it with the big boys in the pros.
Look, Bradley's done a fantastic job to be placed there. He's got some pretty heavy hitters behind him. As you said, Ryan Jones and Dwayne Burns. But let's not forget, he's got Harry Dodds, Ben Wilkes, and Stephen Banks, who's in line for the championship contention, sitting back in 10th. So an excellent effort from Brad Cooper to be qualifying that high up.
Yeah, and he's got a wealth of experience behind him, as you did mention. Like you said, Burns, Jonesy, Doddsy, he'll be there or thereabouts. Wilksy will be there. Shotter's there in P9, and as you said, Banks in P10. How good's this Porsche look as it comes through the final turn onto the main straight here at the Redbull Ring? And before we get all excited and tell you how this grid is going to line up here before round number 12, let's talk a little bit about the Redbull Ring, Steve. A total different track to what we're used to seeing. Very European track, very open, very long, lots of long drafting sections within the track, and very heavy braking zones, which is going to allow for some of those passes that hopefully we're going to see as we're in a sprint round tonight. So we're going to see 2 races. So Redbull Ring, a different way of racing and an absolute great racetrack. Before I segue you into that, mate, I'll just go through the track facts for the viewers. As I said, we are at the Redbull Ring, 1 by 20-minute race tonight, and then it's followed up by a 30-minute race. So it's a double banger here for round 12 of the Aussie Outlaws GT3 racing here from Redbull Ring. Track length, 4.31 kilometres. Fuel capacity, they've got the whole lot, 100%, and 2 sets of tyres over the wall. But Redbull Ring, mate, different type of racing, European-style track, and GT3 cars around European-style tracks generally create good racing. So with 5 minutes and 20 left in qualifying for the Aerial Auto Art up in the left-hand corner, the major sponsor, or one of the major sponsors for the leaderboard, mate, different type of track with GT3s, and looking at those times at the moment, 1:29.816 by Christopher Island. We're only a 1/10 of a second through the top 3 at the moment, and we're going to have tyre deg. We're going to have a lot going on here in the races around this track. So different style of racing. You looking forward to it around this track tonight, mate?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the series has been very entertaining to this point. I have run this track a few times myself in a variety of cars. Look, it's an enjoyable track, even for someone like myself who's pretty hopeless and doesn't have any real speed and runs, a few seconds off the pace. It's an enjoyable track. It's also one where you do need to have your head screwed on. There's a couple of turns here. If you get them wrong, you'll either drop places or create chaos.
Yeah, 100%, and that's the first time I said 100%. There we go, I did it straight away. But down into turn number 1 now, you'll see as we're on board with car number 11 into turn number 1, that's Ryan Jones. There's a big sausage curb on the outside there, which he takes a lot of that. So you've got to really watch that on the exit of turn number 1, because you can really generate a lot of wheel spin, and it's such a long run down into turn number 2 into a real downhill braking section here into turn number 2 as you see Ryan Jones go through there now. But we'll bring you through the championship standings. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the qualifying session at the moment. At the moment, up the top of the standings is Banksy. Stephen Banks in the 17,885. Brad Fenley in second in 819 points with Andrew Dyson 795. Don't be surprised to see Andrew Dyson to get a lot of points tonight. He's been quick, up in the top 3 in practice all night tonight as we've been watching for the last hour, and he might just jump Brad Fenley. We'll see how Brad goes, but Brad's been doing a great job here in the GT3 series, and he's actually AM driver. So, no, he's a pro driver. So, to see him up there in 819 points is really good. Ryan Jones there in 4th place, 741. Robbie Bradbury in 5th with 738. So it's all to be played out for the 4th and 5th position. I'm not sure they're going to have anything for Dyson at the moment. Christopher Ireland, who is your provisional pole setter tonight, 574 in 6th, so a big bag of points if he can get the job done. Tom Williams in the 22 in 7th, Ed Foster in 8th, Thomas Foster in 9th, and Scott Barton there in the 10th position with 357. And we go across to the AM, Steve.
Yeah, and in the AM class, pretty much a similar story. We've got Jason Martin still leading that class championship. Peter Pavlovic and James Lawrence in behind him. Josh Micklemore, Brad Cooper, who's a teammate of James Lawrence, and our mate Carl Withy sitting there in 6th place. Phil Bissett, Dave Douglas, always a bit of a favourite in this series, can be quite entertaining. Mark Smith and Mark Johansson, league admin, sitting 10th. So that must be a typo.
Yeah, it must be. I'm sure Mark wasn't expecting to be in 10th, but if I just digress there on Jason Martin in the M, as we're only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the qualifying session, Jason Martin reached out to me after the last one as we're on board with him now. He was up for the win last week at Phillip Island, and he was just racing his race, and he just let the cars go, and he could have come away with a possible podium. Well, he didn't get a podium actually, but could have come away with a better position, but he just backed off, was racing his race, and he's extended his championship lead. So at the moment, as he goes across the start finish line, we'll see where he falls into the field, and at the moment he is actually sitting in the 11th position, so just outside of the top 10, Steve, with only 55 seconds to go.
Yeah, no, he's going to be on the ball tonight. He'll run his usual race. Jason's not one of these drivers that you can say he's got the eyes on. I mean, he's just consistent. Does the job, gets it done in that Audi, and he's always threatening a bit. And as far as the top 10's concerned, in the championship overall.
Yeah, and Josh Micklemore, his teammate, sitting down there in 16th position. But we'll just bring you some ads from all the love from the sponsors before we bring you the grid here with 18 seconds to go for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. We'll just take a deep breath. We'll show you some of the sponsors and everyone that makes this available here for the Everything Simulated GT3 series for the Aussie Outlaws. And we'll be back with you shortly, and we'll bring you a grid here for round number 12.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, everything simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future. If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks,
We're back, everyone, here for round 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. Steve joining me in the booth. The guys are getting gridded up. We're about to bring you your standings and where they're going to start here for race number 1. As we said, 20-minute first race, 30-minute second race, but it will be Christopher Island in the 23 in the DPR car coming out of P number 1 tonight. Out of P number 2, his teammate Joshua Fitt in the 50. In the second row tonight, out of P number 3, Andrew Dyson, we spoke about him earlier in the broadcast. He's there in the 47 out of P3. Ben Wilkes, the first of the Pro-Ams in the 104, coming out of P number 4. Great job by Ben Wilkes there. Bradley Cooper in the 093 out of the 5th position. And Ryan Jones in the Pro class out of 6th position tonight in the number 11 DPR car. In 7th place tonight is Dwayne Burns in the 19 and Aaron Schotter in the 88. In the 9th position tonight will be, if we can see, Harry Doddsy in the 981 out of Melbourne in Victoria in the Pro class out of the 9th position. Stephen Banks, your championship leader, in the 17 car out of the 10th position as you go across to Jason Martin, Steve.
Yep, Jason Martin and I missed that, but yeah, Riley Curtis and James Lawrence out of row 7. Row 8 will be Dave Douglas and Josh Micklemore. Row 9 tonight will show you Bobby Camo and Peter Patrick. And row 10, we've got Carl Withy and Paul R. Drady. As we go to row 11.
Yeah, Brad Fenley out of row 11, Jamie Nankervis as they come to the green. They do take the green flag. Mark Smith in the 07, so didn't get time to go through the grid, but down into turn number 1 for the first time here at Redbull Ring, and it will be Christopher Island leading the way over Joshua Fitt, and big incident in the background there out of turn number 1, Steve.
Yeah, a lot of those guys ran very wide to the left over not only the ripple strip, but the long yellow sausage that sits just on the infield on its left-hand side, and yeah, they just ran very wide through that turn, and a couple of them came cropper, but we continue on. We're still green, and this is a GT3 race, so the boys are snaking their way down through. We'll take a look when we get a chance to see what it was that actually happened there and who was involved. And we do have a replay. It's coming up now, so we'll just take a look at what actually took place here and who was involved. Now there's a couple of the antique cars came together, but I think one of them is a Corvette, and he got a tag from someone else, and he's come across the nose of his teammate. They're 2 new guys that have joined Antic, and teammates of James Lawrence and Brad Cooper. And we'll go back to the front of the field now, and Chris Ireland and Fitt. Ireland and Fitt just in control of this one, with Dyson sitting back in 3rd, and then Ryan Jones. So DPR team in complete control here, Aidan.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 by DPR at the moment, but you definitely got to look out for the big yellow sausage. I tell you what, look out for that on the exit of turn number 1. You can see it there. A little bit of a segue there, but anyway. But DPR 1, 2, 3, 4. Wilkes up into 4th, Doddsy in 6th. Your championship leader has made 3 positions early on in this one as well, up into 7th position as well. A 20-minute race here, ladies and gentlemen, and Christopher Island off into the distance at the moment. He's got his head down and he has streeted the field at the moment. But I tell you what, the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment is definitely heating up. Andrew Dyson trying to make a play on Fitt there for 2nd position. He doesn't have the DPR livery in that car. Well, not the white livery that you see, a car around in the background. We'll just stay on with this battle at the moment if we can. DPR 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ryan Jones in behind Andrew Dyson. And we'll go back to the replay and have a look at what happened there through
I
turn
believe it was
number 2.
Peter Pavlovic in the background in the AMG that actually it was Harry Dodds, was it? Okay, I knew it was one of the PER AMG cars. And there he is there. And it looks like he's just gotten a bit loose on that ripple strip, and the rear's come around on him. So far, everybody's actually missed him, so hopefully he didn't get any damage out of that and he can continue on.
Dodsley just got caught up by the looks of it there with a little bit of, it's a very high downhill braking zone there into turn number 2, and just caught the rears a little bit, locked the rears and just rotated the car on the entry and wasn't able to be able to save it. So very easy to do that here at the Redbull ring. So Harry Dodds up at the front early. Jason Martin now into 9th, I can see on your live timing tower as we're on board with Andrew Dyson, but very easy to do that around here, Steve, on the heavy braking zones, especially on the downhill zone, to lock those rears. And as you turn in, the rear of the car gets really, really light, and it's very easy to turn it around. But on board at the moment with Andrew Dyson, I believe, in the 3rd position, he's chasing down Fit at the moment in front of him, and at DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment at the front with Jonesy. Jonesy driving a Porsche tonight, Steve, which is a little bit... Oh, no, he's not actually. Sorry, that's Wilkes, so I do apologise for that. But Ireland off into the distance, 2.87 seconds, the better of Fit and Dyson and Jones for a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. But I tell you what, Wilksy, he wants to play a part of this as well, Steve. Long way to go. It's a 20-minute race. We might say it's a long way to go, but I reckon Wilksy's going to have a dip here at some point.
Well, he's sitting right in behind the DPR cars there in 5th place, so he's pretty well positioned for it. Unfortunately, our AM driver, who started well in the field, has disappeared back a bit. That was Brad Cooper, who qualified really well. But his teammate, James Lawrence from Antic Motorsport, in 10th behind Jason Martin.
Yeah, and Jason Martin doing a really good job, as you mentioned him as well. So he's your championship leader in AM. You can see him there in the purple car, just getting a really good run out of 1 and 2, and he's going to get that job done. So that's another position done from Jason Martin, the first of the AM drivers, and it's going to be really, really good for his championship credentials at the moment, as he was leading coming in to round number 12. Still 3 rounds to go, but he's got the job done. So he's going to have his eyes forward. He's going to try and use the pace on the pro guys in front and see if he can drag away from the AM guys in this field. But we've sort of stretched out, only a couple of laps in. We've still got 15 minutes to go. I tell you what, it's heating up for the miners back in the order at the moment. You can see Brad Fenley in the VB car. It's heating up here into turn number 3. This heavy downhill braking section that I just spoke about, where Harry Dodds caught the rear brakes, and you could see the BMW there. He did the same thing, so very easy to do that, and we saw that not only with an AMG but a BMW on the same braking zone having the same issue, albeit the BMW not going around and still being able to navigate forward. But Brad Fenley trying to capitalise on that at the moment as we're on board.
Yeah, and that's Carl Withy, who, the BM just did not steer in properly for whatever reason, and obviously that's cost Carl a spot or two, and as he washed off a fair bit of speed, trying to keep it at least somewhere close to the racing surface, as a couple of guys are pretty much all over him. Brad Fenley's fighting pretty hard there. There's a real flock of different cars and teams back further in the field there in that second half of the field.
Yeah, it's on for sheep stations here through the second half of the field, and Brad Fenley, your second place in the championship, he's very deep in the field at the moment, back in the 20th. Well, actually, I need to redo that, but he's very deep in the field at the moment in that VB car, so he's going to want to make his way forward. There's an incident there with the Porsche into turn number 1.
He's obviously looped it there at the turn, which appears to be a bit of a common problem tonight. I don't know whether the guys have some sort of issue with the way they've got their brake bias set, but we're certainly seeing that in similar parts of the track, and sometimes the same part of the track, a variety of guys having a bit of an issue under brakes.
Yeah, they are. It's the rear brake lock. So you can see there, he locked the rears. He didn't want to get into the back of the car in front of him. Locked the rears, selected a gear down, and that just compression locked and sent him around. He did a great job to not get into to the car in front of him, does a flick spin, and lost a lot of positions, but he'll play on and see how he goes in the next one. But we'll see what it looks like here. So down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He was going to get into the back, lock the rears, and gone. So very easy to do.
And by the time he's got that straightened up, the M&M machine, the number 10 of Dave Douglas, in yet a different livery this week, has managed to go around and avoid him. There we are, the bright yellow M&M machine, and he's actually chasing down the Mustang of Riley Curtis.
Yeah, and that's second and third in the Pro-Am at the moment. So this is for position. So this is Mustang versus Mustang, as Dave Douglas, big look down the inside of Riley Curtis here. And Riley just holds steady on the outside. He's going to get a good drive out of turn number 2. And he's going to hold that position. But Dave Douglas in a good position into this heavy downhill braking zone here, turn number 3 at Road America. We'll see, not Road America, sorry. But he does a good job. Red Bull Ring, sorry. I'm thinking about something else. But Riley Curtis doing a really, really good job there, just holding off of Dave Douglas, second and third in Pro-Am at the moment. Both good mates, both out of Rockhampton in Queensland, and they'll be talking and definitely going, let's chase down Jason Martin. At the moment, Jason Martin off into the distance in the Pro-Am. Big bit of push there from Dave Douglas on the exit of the change of direction, so he lost a lot of time there on Riley, but we'll see how he goes through this double right-hander coming onto the main straight. Just down a gear, very easy to get an off track on the left-hand side there, and very smooth on the throttle. He's going to be in a good position to get a run down into turn number 2. So he's not going to be there for turn number 1, Dave Douglas, at the moment. He's going to be in the draft into turn number 1. Riley Curtis is still going to lead the way over Dave Douglas. Is he going to get a good run? Watch that big yellow sausage. Got to watch that big yellow sausage. Look at this run by Dave Douglas, and he's going to get the job done and be in a good position down into turn number 2, and he's got it done before we even get there. And then we've also got Pavlovich trying to get the job done on Dave Douglas, on Riley Curtis as well. So big run there from Dave Douglas, who got the job done on exit.
Yeah, so that was pretty close to a cut track there on the corner. That was very rough up and over the Ripple strip. That was just as we cut to the camera on this vehicle, on the Ferrari there, and he really was a long way to the right-hand side, but he survived it without an incident. He didn't manage to actually get out of control, so that was good stuff.
Yeah, good job by all the drivers at the moment. It has spread out a little bit, Steve. We've got 9 minutes to go, so we're just gone halfway through this motor race for the first race tonight of 2. 20 minutes this one. Oh, big push on exit. We saw that with Dave Douglas, and we've seen that again. Very easy to push wide there, and that's going to have him very vulnerable up into this section, and can't quite get the job done as there's a blinker in front. But what we're seeing early on, that change of direction through the back end of the track, a lot of push by the drivers when they're in the aero wash, Steve. So the Porsche in the 24 in behind at the moment, that's Alexander Canotis. He's having a look into turn number 1. He's not quite close enough to have anything to do with them, but now he's made himself vulnerable to Bobby Camo in the background as well. So have a look for Bobby as we come into turn number 2. So he had a look, but now he's made himself vulnerable into turn number 2, and Bobby Camo is going to have a look down into this heavy braking section. He sends it really, really hard in the 88, and he gets that job done, Steve.
Yeah, no, look, teammates on teammates there, but they're certainly also racing each other for position in this. Obviously no team orders there, and James Lawrence in the AM class sitting behind. In front of him, he's got 2 brand new teammates, which we already discussed, and they are both in the pro class.
Yeah, so a little bit different for them to be back at the moment. Jason Martin, as I said, you can see on your live timing, 9th position, best of the Pro-Am. But the pro class is fighting for the minors at the moment as well. So that just goes to show how good does that sound. Let's just listen to this as they come through these sections of corners here at the Red Bull Ring in the GT3. They sound amazing. Have a listen to this, Steve. But a little bit different, as I was just mentioning, as I was just getting too excited just listening to the cars. A little bit different. You can see Shotter down there in the Pro-Am. Brad Fennelly in Pro-Am, 20th. This is not good for his championship credentials at the moment, down in 20th position as we're 3 or 4 wide into this downhill braking section. Who's going to blink first? We're about to find out as we come down to the 50-metre board. They're all doing well, and DPR on the inside, number 11, that is Ryan Jones. So Ryan Jones must have been down pit lane. Looks like they need to go down through pit lane for this 20-minute race. And yeah, he's lost that spot to Ben Wilkes. So it's not a green flag run to the end in this race by the seams of it. I thought it was 100% fuel, but I don't know why Ryan Jones is down in that position. He might have had an incident. But at the moment, Jonesy just in behind. He's doing a good job. He's got a long way to come back. He's sitting back there in the... And Jamie Nankervis in the pits too, mate. So yeah. I'm trying to catch up on my live timing. Ryan Jones in 5th position, my apologies. So my live timing just decided to do weird things.
Yeah, but he's in a bit of a sandwich there because he's got Ben Wilkes in front of him, and I believe that Dwayne Burns behind Ryan Jones, and I think pretty sure that he's actually a teammate with Ben Wilkes. So Ryan Jones in a bit of a sandwich. And Dwayne's going to want to actually get past him at some point and join his teammate Ben Wilkes up ahead and put both those team cars in the top 6 or top 5.
Yeah, I agree. DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 is the way it's looking at the moment for race number 1. Car 11, Ryan Jones, we're on board with Wilksy just in front of him. So he's the one spoiling the party for DPR at the moment. Ryan Jones is backing off on the entry, trying to get a really, really good exit. He didn't do that as well as I thought he would have. Wilksy coming off the corner very well in the Porsche there as well. Burns in behind this battle as well. So Burns going to be waiting for anyone to make a mistake, let alone Banks and Bradbury in behind as well. So they're going to be waiting for a mistake from these guys and try and bring them back into the race to possibly get a back end of the podium. But as we see it at the moment, it is Ireland, Fit and Dyson. DPR 1, 2, 3. Wilkes is the one spoiling the party over Ryan Jones, you can see there in the 5th position, and Burns, Banks, Bradbury, Martin, the first-year Pro-Am, and Douglas, second-year Pro-Am. So Douglas has got the job done on Riley Curtis earlier, as we saw. So now Douglas is second in the Pro-Am as we go back to the replay. Paul Drady coming a little bit of a gutser here by the looks of it. So we'll have a look down into turn number 2 here, Steve, and you can talk through the incident.
Well, we'll take a look at what's going on. We see Carl Withy coming through there, and then we've got the number 29. That's Paul Drady, who's he's just succumbed to the left-hand obstacles there. He's up over the ripple strip and around. She's gone. So avoided any major damage, obviously. So he's just simply rejoined, and the only thing hurt there, I think, was his pride, Aidan.
Yeah, we've all done it, and I might make a bit of a segue and a joke as we're going to go 2, 3 wide again down into turn number 2. Ryan Jones looks like he's going to get the job done on Wilksy here, down into turn number 2 on the inside. Wilkie's not going to make it easy as they rub shoulders into turn number 2, but the Porsche needs to back off there and just let it go, and Ryan Jones gets the job done. So it is a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got Wilksy and Burns in the Porsches, the team cars in behind. I don't think this battle's done at the moment. Oh, big dive there on the inside, but I don't think this battle's done, Steve, as we've only got 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, no, big dive there from Ben Wilkes. And, the 2 Cobalt cars of Wilkes and Burns, it is in behind Ryan Jones. And they've got the PER cars of Stephen Banks, Stephen Banks and Robbie Bradbury in behind them. So, it's the whole top 8, all pro class. You get back to 9th position of Jason Martin and David Douglas before you actually get to the AM class, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, we will bring you back to the leader. Sorry, Steve. We will bring you back to the leader shortly. We'll do that now then. We'll go back to the leader. 8 seconds up the road, Christopher Island. I tell you what, this is like Sunday drive, Steve. Sunday drive. DPR number 2, or DPR 1, 2, 3, and 4. Andrew Dyson has got the job done on Fit, and he's pulled away now 1.5 seconds the better of Fit as well. So Fit, after coming off a really good round last round as well, doing a great job there in P3, but Andrew Dyson showing a little bit of a long run pace, albeit a 20-minute race. Showing a little bit of more long run pace at the moment, and Ryan Jones, DPR, there got the job done on Wilkes, as we saw earlier as well. So only 2 minutes to go, mate, and it looks like it's going to be a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, no, it's certainly looking that way. Ben Wilkes and Dwayne Burns doing the best they can there, but Jones has obviously taken that position back, and he's fighting very hard to get that 1, 2, 3, 4 for the team. All I was going to say before was that fantastic shot from our producer, Kobe Jordan, of the cars going through that right-hander, and everybody across the Ripple Strip and across the Yellow Sausage. And the way the cars are upset as they go over that, it's amazing that we don't have more cars turning around at that point in the track.
Yeah, it's a very, very tricky part of the track. You need to carry a lot of speed on entry and carry your mid-corner speed, and sort of just wait a little bit until you get onto the gas, because if you get on it too early, you're obviously over the sausage curve. And, excuse me, that's going to obviously not allow you to get the power down, but on board with the 17 now. The 17 car is Stephen Banks, so he is definitely being battled really hard by Dwayne Banks and Robbie Bradbury in the background as well. So the PER car, we did see earlier that the PER car of Harry Dodds was facing the wrong direction into that exact corner that we just went through. But at the moment, Dwayne Burns all over the back of Stephen Banks. Stephen Banks, your championship leader. So it's not everything it's not all over for Stephen Banks, championship leader. He would not like to be in the P6 position at the moment. Still 3 rounds to go. He had a lot of points in front, but I tell you what, he needs to find some pace in the final 3 rounds as DPR, as we saw last week as well, becoming very, very dominant, and a lot of other people coming up into the championship as well. So this championship for the Everything Simulated GT3 series is definitely not done and dusted, but Stephen Banks doing a great job as we're on board with Christopher Island, your leader at the moment, now out to 9.5 seconds, if you don't mind, Steve.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's opened up a massive gap over, well, not just one of his teammates, but 3 of them. As we look at Andrew Dyson coming through the right-hander there, and he's actually got Fit behind him, and then Ryan Jones is, well, in the distance there, but in 4th place, and he's further up the track. He actually is well ahead of Ben Wilkes, who's is sort of under threat from Stephen Banks at the moment. And Banks he's not in a bad position. 6th place will certainly keep him in touch with those cars in front points-wise, especially with the lead that he's got in the championship. And then Burns in 7th, another PER car in 8th for Robbie Bradbury, and rounding out the top 10, it still is Jason Martin and David Douglas in the M class.
Well, let's go back quickly, as you mentioned, Ryan Jones. They're about to cross the line to take, actually, it is actually going to be the winner. So your winner here for race number 1, the 20-minute first sprint race, it's Christopher Island, 9-10 seconds in front of the rest of the field. That was like in a canter, Steve. Christopher Island from DPR coming home in P1 here for race number 1 of the GT3 series, Everything Simulated. Here for Aussie Outlaws, Dyson and Fit and Jones for a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 in the AM. It looked like it was Jason Martin coming home and extending his championship lead. Dave Douglas, the man, the myth, the legend, coming home in 2nd, and Riley Curtis in 3rd. But we will quickly bring up the first place getters in the Pro and the AM and have a little bit of a chat. But before we do that, we'll just go across the ads, have a big thank you to your sponsors, and we'll have a chat to the first place getters in the Pro and the Pro-Am here for round number 1. Before we bring you the final race, the 30-minute race here from Redbull Ring, here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, everything simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Round 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. That was race number 1, the 20-minute race. And Christopher Island takes out the pro split, Jason Martin and the Pro-Am. They're nice enough to give us their time, only 7 minutes 50 in the warm-up session. So we'll keep this really, really quick before we go to race number 2. But first and foremost, Jason Martin, Pro-Am winner for race number 1, come into the championship, come into this round leading the championship and extended a little bit. You'll be happy with that one. Still 3 rounds to go. I know it's definitely not, it's still a lot to play for, but good start here tonight at the Redbull ring.
Oh, hell yeah. I was expecting to go pretty bad here because the Audi doesn't like this track, so really happy with that result. And I think the guy that's in second had a bit of a bad race.
Well, what do you really quickly, we're not going to keep you long, as I said, what are you thinking? So you qualified the top of the Pro-Am split. You made your way forward and actually beat a couple of the pro guys. You did send me a PM during the week about last week. You were actually with the reverse grid, which we're about to go through, were on podium position, but just let them go and run your own race. Little bit of a different strategy tonight because different track, and you're not going to be off P number 1 as we go into the reverse grid because you didn't have the best race in race 1 last week. But how you feeling? Quickly, give them an insight as we go into the reverse grid here for the 30-minute feature race.
Yeah, not where I want to be, all them pro guys behind me, so I'll hope to survive turn 1 and the hairpins, and then I'll look to start racing.
Well, best of luck, mate. We appreciate you giving us our time, or your time rather, only 6 minutes to go. So go out, do some laps, get ready and get ready for that 30-minute. But we go across to Chris Island. Chris, mate, winner of the pro class. I tell you what, not a winner, gone by a mile, 10.5 seconds. What are you doing? You're a freak.
Ah, thanks, boys. Yeah, look, I mean, full credit to the setup for that one. Things on rails, and it's quick in the corners and it's quick in the straight line too. So, yeah, full credit to Harry Hogg for making that setup. But yeah, no, look, it's a good race. A little bit different starting from the back. It's very easy when you've got clear track in front of you. You can just put in lap after lap after lap and be extremely consistent. But dodging lap traffic, or not dodging lap traffic, but coming back through the pack will be a bit of a challenge for sure.
Well, starting last, obviously there's going to be a pit stop in this one, being a 30-minute race. I'd strongly suggest, even though you're full fuel. I don't know, you can probably enlighten us. But starting at the back, it's going to take a lot of racecraft to be able to navigate your way forward. We've seen you in the past couple of rounds, you've made a lot of positions early and been up there probably in 5th or 6th place within the first couple of laps. So do you think Red Bull does really create that racing, like in regards to the Red Bull ring? Are you going to be able to make those moves so early? Because what I've seen, heavy braking zones, long draft, yes, it takes a lot of patience, and we actually saw a lot of the high pro drivers locking their rears into turn number 3 on the downhill braking section and just circulating the car and just locking the rears. So pushing too hard as well at the same time. It's about a risk versus reward type of situation.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's going to be tough to make positions very quickly. It's going to be a massive bottleneck into turn one, I can tell you that. So, to try and get a run through down to, well, up to turn 3, should I say, is going to be tough. So, look, the first couple of laps is more so car avoidance, trying to avoid the off tracks, trying to avoid slowdown penalties from going off the track, trying to avoid the car contacts, things like that. The first couple of laps, just dodging and weaving, etc. And then from there, I reckon you probably put your head down and then start really focusing on consistent laps and making the passes clean. So it's not just about making the passes clean, but it's also about losing as little time as possible. So I'll give you a precursor, boys. You probably won't be seeing much moves from me at turn 1. I'll be waiting to turn 3 most of the time. So, most of the action at turn 3. So if you want to keep the camera on there, whenever I'm around.
Well, hopefully you're not facing in the wrong direction. That'd be positive. But DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 in race number 1. I don't know if you want to do any laps in warm-up, so I do apologise if you do. But DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 in sprint race number 1, you've got to be happy with that, mate. Jonesy didn't have it his own way. He was fighting for the minors, but DPR 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we've reversed the whole grid. It's going to be a lot different. So are we going to see a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4 again, do you think?
I mean, we all have the pace, right? In an ideal scenario, we would be up, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Ryan, unfortunately, seems to be lacking a little bit. I don't think the Corvette really suits this style of track. So, being the sort of the mid-engined rear-wheel drive, it sort of can be quite oversteery, and that's not what you want around sort of a track like this. You really want corner exit. You want traction on corner exit, which obviously the Porsche, being rear-engined, rear-wheel drive, when it squats down, it squats down. So, look, it's going to be tough to see a DPR 1, 2, 3, 4. We all have the pace to do it, but whether or not it eventuates, we'll have to just we'll have to find out.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out, mate. You're the winner of the first sprint race here in the Pro Class, Christopher Island. We'll let you go and have a little bit of a chat with your teammates and have a couple of laps before we bring you race number 2, rather, the feature race, the 30-minute race here for round 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here, brought to you by the Aussie Outlaws on all the platforms that you're watching. But Christopher Island, we wish you the best, mate, and we can't wait to see you come through the field.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Best luck, mate. Anyway, Steve-o, we'll quickly go to some ads. We've got 1:30 left before we take the grid here for the feature race, the 30-minute feature race, as I have said. We'll go to some ads. We'll enjoy all the sponsors, everyone that makes it possible here on your streams, and we'll bring you back to the feature race here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from the Red Bull Ring for the Aussie Outlaws. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the feature race for round number 12 from the Red Bull Ring for the Everything Simulated GT3 series. Here brought to you by Aussie Outlaws. Unfortunately, we don't have the overlays to be able to give you the full grid at the moment, but we can tell you what your grid's going to be, and it's going to be Jamie Nankervis off the pole with Bradley Cooper out of P number 2. Mark Smith and Paul Drady, and I'll remind you, ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in on the streams, this is a full reverse grid. So Paul Drady out of P number 4, Carl Withy out of 5, Brad Fenley out of 7, Harry Dodds, who locked those rear brakes and was facing the wrong way after being in the top 5 or close to early in race number 1 in 7, Bobby Camo in 8, Lawrence in 9th, and Ganotis in 10th, as I'll let Steve take you through 11 to 20.
Yeah, look, Josh Micklemore, and as we take a look down through the order, as the guys start to move away behind the safety car, and behind him is Schotter, then Pavlovic, Curtis, Douglas, Martin, Bradbury, Burns, Banks, and Wilkes is your top 20, and we are on the formation lap.
Yeah, and 21st position too will be Jonesy, who finished in the 4th position. Joshua Fitt, who finished in 3rd position in race number 1, will start out at 22. Andrew Dyson, who was your 2nd place getter in race number 1, out of 23. And Stone Motherless Last, your winner from this first sprint race, Christopher Island out of 24. But they're going to come through the final corner at the moment. Will be Nankervis and Cooper bringing to the green. So Nankervis does hold the field. And is he going to go early? Doesn't look like at the moment. He's going to hold him up. And we're about to go green here for the 30-minute feature race for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here. Brought to you by Aussie Outlaws. Jamie Nankervis down the inside into turn number 1 and 2. Is he going to be able to clear Mark Smith? Mark is holding really steady on the outside there, gets a great run, doesn't get that yellow sausage curb, and he's going to almost clear Jamie Nankervis down into turn number 2, but Jamie's just going to tuck him beside him. So at the moment, Mark Smith has now got the job done and leads this motor race into turn number 3.
Sorry, just looking back in the background there, we had a car at the front there that just suddenly disappeared straight backwards, almost like he just lifted his foot off the pedal. But Brad Cooper now leading from Dodds, and Smith back to 3rd, with Carl Withy up into 4th place. We'll see what Carl can do with that, because it's a big opportunity. And we've got a replay of what might have occurred there.
Yeah, my live timing was going really bad. It feels like I pulled the wrong thing then, but Jason Martin there into turn number 2, so we'll have a look what happens here. Very slow car on the outside there. Jason Martin comes down into turn number 3, just trying to navigate his way around, and collects that Porsche on the outside there and sends him in the wrong direction. So that was unfortunate there by Jason Martin.
Yeah, the car I was referring to was one of the Audis. He was running towards the front, literally in the top 5, and then all of a sudden, we've got another replay. We'll take a look at what might have happened here. And yeah, Paul Drady it was. And you could just see he's just suddenly the fire's gone out or something, and he's just
might have got a slow down
by the entire field. Possibly a slowdown from going through that corner. He may have overstepped the mark a little bit, but we'll see if we can find out about that later from Paul if we get the opportunity. But yeah, it's probably a slowdown penalty or something like that. But yeah, very, very strange thing to see at the start of this one as Brad Cooper continues to lead it from Harry Dodds and Mark Smith, Carl Withy, and then we've got Camo in 5th place at the moment. James Lawrence up to 6th, Ganotis in 7th, Schotter, Fenley, and Pavlovic in 10th.
Yeah, and at the moment, Brad Cooper leading the way. That's Josh Micklemore on your screens at the moment, so in behind David Douglas. Josh Micklemore trying to make his way up through this field. Harry Dodds, the first-year pro at the moment with this inverted grid, complete inverted grid. We saw him have an incident locking his rears early. He hasn't done that now, so up into 2nd. But we go back to an instant replay as Josh Micklemore is right on the back of Dave Douglas. But not sure who this is, but we go back to replay into turn number 1. And this looks like it's Bobby Bradbury into turn number 1. So hard on the brakes into turn number 1. You can see Dave Douglas getting really wide in front and just too much jandle on exit, and the PER car off into the inside, and very similar story to what we saw Harry Dodds do in race number 1 on a different corner.
Yep, and he's kept it off the fence. He'll get it back on the track and rejoin. And he's got 31 minutes remaining in a 30-minute race, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's got a long way to try and salvage a couple of points. Dave Douglas in that bright yellow car, he's in behind Brad Fenley, and the PER car making a big dive on the inside there. Didn't quite have enough for Brad Fenley under the braking zone. So Brad doing a great job in 9th. So second in your championship coming into this round. Did finish about 20th position in the first race. He's got the full reverse grid. This is his chance to create or try and get a lot of points and try and hold on to that top 3 position in the championship. But I tell you what, everyone around him at the moment is wanting to play a part of that. Dave Douglas being one of those guys in the M&M's car in that beautiful looking Ford Mustang in the 11th position. He's chasing down Pavlovich. Just in front of them is Brad Fenley and Carl Whitley, as you said. So Dave Douglas getting a good run off the exit of that corner. We did see him earlier in the first sprint race, in the 20-minute sprint race. He got a lot of push coming out of there, and he's actually looks like he's pushed there as well, and he's going to sacrifice his exit now to Ryan Jones in behind him down into turn number 1. Ryan Jones probably a little bit far behind at the moment to be able to challenge into turn number 1, but Dave Douglas, he's got his eyes front, he's got his eyes rear, and trying to make his way forward. But this is all for championship positions in the Pro-Am at the moment. The Pro guys are going to make their way through. We can see at the moment the Porsche in behind as well. I'm not sure who that is. Hang on, I need to refresh.
Oh, and we've got a car going around. It looks like Ryan Jones might have turned Dave Douglas. It looked like one of the DPR cars, and it could have actually been the Corvette. And I believe it was. So just as they've come through here, just a little bit of a tag on the left-hand rear corner of Dave Douglas's Mustang. Oh no, he's actually come together with the PER car, and Ryan Jones has had nowhere to go to give him a bit of a touch-up.
Yeah, he's done that himself, and he's caught that inside curb, and it's just taken all the air from underneath the car. And these cars are very aero-dependent, all it being a GT3 car, very aero-dependent, and just rotated the car, and Ryan Jones nowhere to go. So now we can see that Dave Douglas is going to make his way back in the pack at the moment as well. But Harry Dodds has now taken the lead of the race, and he's got the job done over Bradley Cooper. So Harry Dodds, in race number 1, had that unfortunate incident, put him at the front of the start of this race, which he'll be happy about, which allows him to be in the position he's in, but he'll want to have his eyes forward now and try and drive away from Bradley Cooper, as Mark Smith is in 3rd place. And Bobby Camo doing a great job up into the 4th position at the moment in that green and grey livery car as well. But I tell you what, Brad Cooper is not letting Harry Dodds have it his own way. We've got Mustang over Mercedes at the moment. Ferrari there of Brad Fenley, 2nd in the championship. We've got BMWs. We've got the DPR guys making their way through as well. I need to make a little bit of a note because Joshua Fitt up into the 16th position after starting last. So he did just say before we come in to the broadcast for the 30-minute final race, I'm just going to do a couple of laps. I'm just going to chill, and I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to put my eyes forward. So Joshua Fitt at the moment, he's got his eyes forward, and now don't be surprised we see the 50simrigs.com car make his way forward through this field. There's a lot of people in front of him: Wilkes, Pavlovich, Jones, Fenley, Ireland, Withy, etc. All of those guys, they're not going to make it easy, but 27 minutes go to Steve. I'm getting excited. Fenley, looks like there's a move by the 11 of Ryan Jones up the inside of Brad Fenley. The PER car wants to have a little bit of a go at that as well, and that's Pavlovich, but that's now going to sacrifice him onto the main straight as well. So the guys are playing for keeps here. 30-minute feature race, the 23 there of Christopher Island making his way up through the field, the man that we said earlier. So he's already up into the 8th position after starting stone motherless last. So Christopher Island, he's definitely got something in that Porsche tonight, but too wide out of turn number 2 here at Redbull Ring. And it is Doddsy, Harry Dodds, leading the way over Cooper, Camo and Lawrence as we have 26 minutes left to go here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series from the Aussie Outlaws, brought to you from all the platforms here. I'm not even sure what we're broadcasting on, to be honest. It might be, just help me up there, Coach.
We're definitely on YouTube, mate. Definitely on YouTube. So
We're definitely on
much.
YouTube. Not sure
And,
if it's on the stream or not. But anyway, let's move on.
But we've got the replay happening here, and I believe that's not Stephen Banks. It's Robbie Bradbury, sorry, in the Ferrari. And yeah, here we, yep. And story of the night, up through that right-hander, wheels out over the ripple strip, and around she goes. So keeps it off the fence. He'll get that turned around, get it back on track, and he'll rejoin. So that's not an issue at all. And just watching Harry Dodds there, still leading. From Robbie Bradbury as the boys get across the ripple strip and the big yellow sausage, and they get across that fairly safely as we take a look from the point of view on board with Harry Dodds, and absolutely fresh air in front of him, and as he comes in through the braking zone, and he's got a very nice little turn there. Nicely done from Harry Dodds. You can see Brad Cooper in the rear view camera in behind him there. And look, it's a little bit off topic, but I love the look of these Mustangs. Although it's going to be a different wing and a slightly different body kit, cannot wait to see the Gen 3 version of these in the supercars next year in iRacing. Going to be fantastic stuff. As we go into this, I'll let you talk us through the replay.
Yeah, we've got an instant replay here, so something's happened in the background. PR guy, again, it looks like it happened in turn number 1 here at Redbull Ring. Didn't quite collect the apex. Oh, the DPR car in behind just got a really good run off the corner and collected the car in front. You can see Josh Mickelmore just going past that and got away with that. So unfortunate there from the PER car, and just got collected. So be interesting to see what the race stewards do at the end of this one and see where we go. But let's go back on board with Harry Dodds, if you don't mind, and we'll go on board as they go into turn number 1. Let's take you for a lap around Redbull Ring in the Mercedes AMG of Harry Dodds, leader of the race. And there's a lap around Redbull Ring, but have a look. If you had a look in the rear vision mirror there, have a look at that Ford Mustang of Cooper. He's ranging right up onto the back of Harry Dodds, your leader of this feature race. That Mustang is looking strong as this race progresses. So Brad Cooper at the moment, really, really looking strong in behind Harry Dodds as we go back to a replay.
So we've got the replay back here, and once again, one of the PER cars, and we're just going to take a look and see what's happened here. I've got a feeling he might have looped this, and there it goes, just coming into that left-hand sweeper, and the rear has just come around. That's Stephen Banks in the Audi, and just nothing he could have done with that, keeping it off the fence, keeping it undamaged, and he'll just rejoin that and fight his way forward a bit further, Aidan.
Yeah, and that's your championship leader, Steve. So a lot of championship implications there for Banksy. Didn't have the best race in race number 1, just inside your top 5 or 6, and now facing the wrong direction as we're on board with Harry Dodds leading the way. I tell you what, Cooper's all over the back of Doddsy. Have a look at that Mustang. How good does that look, Steve? And he's having a look on the inside of Doddsy here through this section. Dodsy's not going to give it up easy. I know Doddsy raced him for a long time. We'll see, but it looks like that Cooper's got a lot more pace at the moment. So Cooper coming out of the final turn here at the Red Bull Ring. 21 minutes to go. This is the fight for your lead. 1 and 2, Dodds and Cooper down into turn number 1, Steve.
Yeah, look, Brad actually qualified really well for race 1 for the 20-minute run, and it went sour for him early. So this reverse grid, he's grabbed hold of that with both hands, and he's running with it and making the most of the opportunity. We've still got 20 minutes on the clock, so he's doing everything he can. If he can get past Doddsy, he'll feel really good. But Doddsy's not giving it up. As you said, he's going to make that AMG very wide and make very hard to get past him. But Brad's just throwing everything at him at the moment. And as you said, we saw on that lap around with Harry that Brad was all over the back of him in the rear view camera.
Yeah, and don't take your eyes off Bobby Camo in third place as well, albeit he's not in the fight for the win at the moment. They're going to have to come through pit lane, but he's doing a great job in third position as well. So 131.138 last time around, 131.132 for Cooper, and 131.194. So Bobby Camo, second fastest car on track last time around with 19 minutes to go, and he's got Christopher Ireland, your race 1 winner, who started last in behind him as well. So Bobby doing a great job, as is everyone else. Lawrence, Ganotis, Jones, Dyson, Wilkes, Shotter, and the like in the top 10. Brad Fenley is up there as well, grabbing some points. But back to a replay, something's happened here. So going down that heavy downhill braking zone, the Antic cars, so they seem to be really, really it's like they've got a magnet around them tonight, Steve. Every time we've spoken about them, they've been around together, and the 88 just goes around there, and that's Aaron Shotter, and he goes around, and yeah, those Antic cars, I tell you what, we can't separate them tonight.
Well, you can't separate them. They're running well together tonight, and don't they look fantastic? It's such a nice livery, and a lot of work gone into that one.
Beautiful livery, mate. Absolutely beautiful livery. And we'll just touch on that, the amount of effort that the people go into in the iRacing platform to be able to have great liveries and to be able to do that type of stuff. That team is second to none, but we're back on for the lead of the motor race, and it still is Dodds over Cooper. Cooper looking a lot stronger at the moment, Steve, through the midsection of this race. We're 18 minutes to go, so we're nearly halfway through, but Cooper in that Mustang looking like he's been able to carry that mid-corner speed a lot better than Harry Dodds, and looking like that Mustang could possibly make a move for the lead of this race very shortly. Yeah,
look, he's doing everything he has to at the moment. It's just that Dodds is not making a mistake. He's not opening the door. There's no opportunities being presented by Harry whatsoever here. And Brad is doing absolutely everything he can to stay with him, just hoping that at some point Harry will just leave the door open. He'll go a little bit too wide at a corner, a little bit too shallow at a corner. Anything just to open the door for Brad to slip through and get into the lead of this motor race. But Harry is just not providing him the opportunities at this time.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, Harry Dodds, at the front at the moment. He's not giving him any opportunity to try and make a pass, but have a look who's in third place. Starting off the rear of the grid, the first race winner, Christopher Ireland, coming up there and catching these front guys at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So the more that these guys battle at the front, it's going to allow Christopher Ireland to become part of this one as well. But at the same time, Steve, Christopher, he's got the pace. He said it feels planted. He's comfortable. And we can see that last time around, 130.7. Your leaders are 131.1. So at least 4 or 5 tenths of a second quicker per lap than the leaders at the moment. So we're going to see Christopher Ireland in this little battle for the lead of the motor race sooner than we can blink as we go through the final two turns here at Red Bull Ring, and it still is Harry Dodds leading the way over Cooper and Christopher Island, about to have something to say about this onto the main straight here at Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, no, look, this is what's going to be very interesting with this, because Brad Cooper, his attention is about to change from chasing down Harry and looking for a way past to defending against Chris Island, who is on an absolute charge from the rear of field after winning race one. So this could be something that Harry's been waiting for. If Brad needs to concentrate on trying to do some defensive driving against Chris Island, that's going to give Harry the opportunity to maybe pull away a little bit, because he doesn't have to worry about that. Only Brad does. And Chris Island's going to be looking for any opportunity to get past Brad Cooper at the moment in that antique Mustang.
Yeah, and you saw Harry Dodds there just position his car mid-track. He could see that Brad Cooper got a really good run out of turn number one and wanted to have a little bit of a look, but he just positioned his car into the right position, so it didn't allow Brad to be able to get that job done. Of course, Island in third position as well. He's just sitting there with a wetting brief. He's just having a look at what's going on, and don't be surprised to see Christopher Island make a move up to the lead of this motor race very shortly. Harry Dodd's doing a lot of rear vision driving at the moment. 15 minutes to go. Not sure if there is a pit stop in this one. It's 100% fuel. But at the moment, Cooper, the first of your Pro-Am, he's fighting for the lead of the race against your Pro. And there you see Christopher Island getting a good run off the final turn. And he's going to almost pass Cooper into turn number 1 and 2 before they even get to the braking zone. He's going to be side by side into the braking zone, and Christopher Island up into P number 2, and now he's going to have his sights set on Harry Dodds for the lead of this motor race.
Yeah, no, Brad very wide to the left there coming out of that last turn. Oh, and we've got a big bit of contact here. One of the Cobalt Porsches has been turned, and we're just going to take a look at this now. Just going to take a look at what's going on. One of the antique cars there, and we've got that's Ryan Jones and Ben Wilkes. Now, Wilkesy looks like he's come across and contacted Ryan Jones there, but the car just seemed to drift to the left into Ryan Jones, and maybe in an effort to correct it, Ben's actually looped the car around and he's collected the Armco.
Yeah, it looked like he just lit up the rears there on exit before he even made contact with Ryan Jones. So Ryan gave him a little bit of room and enough racing room, and just lit up the rears and started to spin the car. As we can see Christopher Island now trying to make the move around the outside of Harry Dodds for the lead of the race. So Christopher Island, after starting dead, stone, motherless last in this race, he said to us that he was just going to chill out for the first couple of laps and put his head down and not make any mistakes, and we're seeing that, and he's going to have a position to make a move in turn number 1 and 2. He thinks better of it down into turn number 1 over Harry Dodds, but he's going to have a good run out of turn number 1 and possibly lead for the race as Bobby Camo's into the pit, Steve.
Yep. Now that's a drive-through. He didn't actually stop, so he's picked up, I would imagine, a drive-through there for some reason at some point in the track. Yeah, so very, very, very odd. I'm not quite sure why he would have picked up something like that, but that's the case with Bobby Camo. As we go back to the Cobalt car, and this is Wilkesy coming into the pits at the moment after that little incident that he had a moment ago with Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones has appeared to come out of it okay, but Wilkesy's actually decided this is the time to pit.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they actually need to pit with only 12 minutes to go. Had a little bit of damage on the left-hand front fender. As we go back to the replay, Bobby Camo through the tight right-hander here at Red Bull Ring. Very, very congested. You can see in front your second place getter, or currently second place, coming into the series in front of the 19 car of Dwayne Burns. That is Brad Fenley. So Brad still just trying to get some points, and not sure if they need to pit. I believe they do, though. Full tank of fuel.
Burns got no wing, Aiden.
He doesn't either. So he's had a little bit of a shenanigans as well. So Burns is going to be really good in a straight line. We'll see now that they come onto the main straight. Let's have a look at this. Burns gets off the corner really well over Brad Fenley. Have a look at that. Have a look at the front, top line speed. But he's going to be sacrificed coming into the braking zone. You can see there. He just didn't have the confidence to be able to get on the brakes and get the job done on Brad Fenley. In front of them as well, I believe that might be Jason Martin, maybe? No, it's Carl Withy. So the BMW Carl Withy, Brad Fenley having a look into turn number 2. Not quite close enough there, and a little bit of a touch there from the Porsche as well. So I tell you what, it's heating up here for the minors, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. Ryan Jones in behind this battle that's going on at the moment. Ryan's going to be watching this with great interest because he doesn't care if they take each other out. It opens the door for him, but he certainly doesn't want to get involved in it.
Definitely doesn't. He's going to want to make his way forward. Has a little bit of a look on the inside of Brad Fenley. Brad just opens the door a little bit and allows him to get that position. So Ryan Jones gets the position as well. Bobby Camo in the background as well, having a little bit of a look. Can't quite get that job done. Brad Fenley doing a great job. So here we go. And they get through that section. But I tell you what, it's heating up. Bobby Camo just poking the front of the car out there over Brad Fenley saying, Brad, I'm here, mate. I'm ready to race. Let's go in through the final turn, and we've got 10 minutes to go, and this is the fight for the minors. Bobby Camo with a great run out of the final turn. He's going to get a big push. Jason Martin wants a part of this, and we're going to go too wide into turn number 1, Steve.
Yeah, look, Wiley Curtis probably ran the best line through that corner there and picked up about 3 spots. He's gone with Bobby Camo, but they've basically left Brad Fenley in their dust now. Brad and Bobby both ran wide to the left, and Riley managed to hold it tight and keep it off that ripple strip, and just got such a better run out of that left-hander. And we've got Carl Withy
around,
facing the wrong way on the track there at the moment.
You can't park there, Carl. You can't park there.
And he's got it round the right way now, so he's back of field, and he's going to be trying to hunt down some people and see what he can do with the next 9 minutes of this race.
Yeah, we'll go back to the replay now and have a look what happened with Carl. Carl, as we watch the broadcast back, you can't park there, mate. I'm sorry. In the BMW, into turn 1 and 2. And you've said that to me a million times on the broadcast. So same thing, just on the jandle, a little bit too much. And rotates that BMW. How good is that BMW looking, albeit in the wrong direction? He's going to have to wait, do a flick spin and get back into it, and he'll be there and collect some points tonight. But at the moment, Christopher Ireland, your winner from race number 1. He won by 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the job done on Harry Dodds while we've been looking at other stuff, and he's 2 seconds up the road, and Doddsy and Cooper are 2nd and 3rd in this motor race, but already down to 8 seconds left, 8 minutes rather, left to go. Little bit of a punt there by Cooper in behind Doddsy. So this is a battle. Cooper's got the pace, but he doesn't seem to be able to have enough to be able to get the job done. So we do know the usual saying in motorsport. It is okay to be able to catch the car in front, but it's different to be able to get the move done. That's what we're seeing over Cooper and Dodds at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a little bit of a nudge there from Brad, because I think he just carried a bit more speed through the turn than what Harry did. But the battle between these two has been going on, since nearly the start of the race. The two of them have been going at it. The difference with it in this instance is that Chris Ireland started rear of field, and he's now in the lead and disappearing off up the road, and he's put daylight between him and second.
Yeah, so it's a battle for 2nd and 3rd at the moment. We do see cars come through pit lane. I don't think they actually need to pit. It's a full tank of fuel. So 30 minutes around here, they should be able to get to the end. At the moment, you can see Dyson just there in the background in 4th position, on board with the Mustang at the moment there as well. So Ireland, Dodds, Cooper, Dyson, Lawrence and Shotter, year 6. The most interesting part is Cooper at the moment.
Riley Curtis.
Riley.
And he's into the fence.
I think he had a bit of a hardware issue there. Riley Curtis in the case.
we'll take a look at the replay on this, or something else that's maybe happened. No, there it is, Riley Curtis. Now he's come in through there. He's turned through that section okay, and through the right turn, then the sweeper, and as he's come down towards the left-hander, he's
just caught the rear.
Yep, the rear's just caught, and he's all over the place. But what gets me is he hasn't stopped before he's actually hit the concrete barricade. So
I think he's just exited stage left and gone, I made a mistake, I'm out.
Yeah,
Christopher Island.
Very
Christopher Island at the front. I reckon that's what's happened. He's
Pretty
gone, I've made a
unfortunate,
mistake, I'm out. But Christopher Island at the front. But that's how easy it was. We've seen that on 2 or 3 occasions tonight, Steve, how easy it is to catch the rears here at Red Bull Ring in the GT3s rather. Brake bias and everything does make a big difference, and we've seen that on 3 or 4 occasions. And Harry Dodds, who's second in front of Bradley Cooper, we saw that in race 1, caught the rears in the heavy downhill braking section as well. So very easy to do here at the Red Bull Ring. But I'll tell you what, at the moment, it's a fight of 3. This is the battle. Christopher Island's pretty much got this one sewn up. 5 minutes to go. Harry Dodds, Bradley Cooper for the minors, 2nd and 3rd. Andrew Dyson, he's not going to be a part of the podium tonight if everything goes to plan from the guys in front at the moment. But I'm excited to see this one. Doddsy has absolutely drove a stellar drive to be able to keep Cooper behind him, because Cooper's seemed like the faster car. But I tell you what, the racecraft with Doddsy with 5 minutes to go has allowed him to stay in the 2nd position as we see Carl Withy now go down through pit lane.
Yes, Carl's decided to pull in there, and don't know why with 5 minutes to go. Perhaps he's just pushed his tyres a little bit too hard. Not really sure about that there, but a quick stop, yeah, possibly a penalty of some description, or it could just be a mandatory pit. I'm not sure whether it was a compulsory pit stop tonight. That would explain some of these guys actually pitting, but look, just taking a look at Carl there, he's back in the race, and he'll finish this with 5 minutes to go. As we look at Bobby Camo battling with Brad Fenley once again, and side by side, Brad's definitely got the line there and the speed to carry it off, and he'll take that position away from Bobby.
That's very important from Brad, coming into the championship, or coming into the round 2nd in the championship overall, after not the best race from his own standings in race number 1. Very important position to take now, and he's come up into the 10th position. Bobby Camo links into pit lane, so there might be a splash and dash in this one, Steve. Jason Martin in front of Brad Fenley. So Jason Martin, who won the Pro-Am for the first sprint, the 20-minute sprint race, in the number 21, sitting in 9th position, 3rd in class at the moment. But we've seen a lot of guys. So we saw Carl earlier. Now we see Bobby Camo. We see other people come in for a splash and dash. So can they get to the end? 3 minutes 40 to go. Who can get to the end?
Well, I just want to draw some attention to who's sitting in 11th place now. Mr. Quiet, Josh Micklemore, has worked his way up into 11th. So he's on the verge of a top 10 finish in this one.
Yeah, he'll be there or thereabouts. He'll probably come in underdone. His teammate, Jason Martin, as I said, leading the Pro-Am. Josh Micklemore, definitely a great steerer. Great in the NASCAR ranks in iRacing. Really good, and actually coming off a 24-hour win in the GT3s as well. Raced in the real world as well, in the Formula 500 and stuff. So no surprise to see Josh Micklemore make his way forward. He'd probably want to be a little bit further up, but doing a great job making positions, and going to take home a bag of points tonight. But only 2 minutes 49 to go, and this is the battle at the moment on the track. It is Christopher Island at the front, who's now got 3.9 seconds over the man on your screen, Harry Dodds, and Brad Cooper in 3rd position. It looks like Harry Dodds has got a little bit more pace at the back end of the race than Brad Cooper, and it looks like Brad is sort of settling for 3rd. Andrew Dyson has dropped the gap behind these guys from 3-point-something seconds to now 1.6, and he's actually now in contention to fight for a podium in this race.
Yeah, I was just about to actually call attention to that, because Brad Cooper is about to have his rear view camera full of a McLaren on the charge. That number 41 car of Andrew Dyson. and Daiso can smell a podium. He can smell it coming. All he's got to do is challenge Brad Cooper, and let's see what sort of power there is in this McLaren. We know that Brad Cooper's got the power and the speed, and just hasn't been able to find an opportunity to get past Harry Dodds tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what Daiso can do with it, because he's going to be catching up very quickly with a minute and a half left on the clock.
Yeah, only a lap and a half to go, and the simrigs.com number 41 really ranging on the back of Bradley Cooper at the moment. So have a look at this McLaren. Have a look at the flames come out of the back of it under the heavy braking zone here into turn number 1. Have a look at those flames come out. He's really ranging up on the back of Cooper. So Dyson, he's not going to die wondering. He's had a great run out of turn number 1. Have a look at this of the draft. Is he going to be close enough into turn number 2 to have a look? Only a minute and 5 to go, so about a lap and a half to go, I'd suggest. He thinks better of it, and he's going to set him up. So Andrew Dyson thinks better of it there over Bradley Cooper. Christopher Island, Harry Dodds up the road at the moment. That's your 1 and 2. That's sorted. But here's the fight for the final place on the podium, and it is over Cooper and Dyson down in this heavy downhill braking zone. And Dyson thinks better of it for the second time. So we'll see how they go. But Steve, Dyso's going to have a look, mate. He's going to have a look at some point. We're only 34 seconds to go, so we're probably going to get white flag next time around. And Dyson's going to have a look to try and get the final place on the podium here for round number 12.
Like you said, look, Daiso won't die wondering, mate. He'll find an opportunity to get around if it's there. Brad Cooper now needs to concentrate on just keeping, if he can keep it there, he can keep 1 or 2 car lengths between him and Daiso. But every time they come in through a corner, Daiso tends to get him just under brakes is when Dyson seems to actually close in on him, and then Cooper seems to pull it out again and open up a 1 or 2 car length spot as we are under white flag. And Chris Island well and truly in command of this one with Harry Dodds in second. And this is the battle for the final podium spot between Brad Cooper and Andrew Dyson. And Daiso doing a great job there, but he's not willing to do anything silly, Aiden.
He's not. We saw there that Cooper just drove a little bit hard into the corner, and he's just going to let Daiso go. So you've got to remember now that Cooper is just fighting for first in Pro-Am at the moment. So he's doing exactly what we saw last week from Jason Martin. So he's just let Dyson have that one. But Christopher Island, he's been a class above tonight. Last lap here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from the Redbull ring. Christopher Island has been a class above, 4 seconds the better of anyone around. Dodsey's done a great job tonight as well, albeit his first race hasn't been good. But Christopher Island, after starting off the back of this grid, he's gone from stone motherless last to the first position and put 4 seconds on the rest of the field. He's only got 2 corners left to navigate, and the DPR Simrigs.com Porsche of Christopher Island through the final 2 corners tonight here at the Red Bull Ring, here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. It will be Christopher Island coming away with a dominant win, P number 1 here for round number 12 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. He's happy about that one. Dodsey comes home in second. Harry Dodds will have a chat to him shortly. That's your pros. And Andrew Dyson, after getting let go, comes home in P number 3. We'll chat to them shortly as well. Bradley Cooper coming home in 4th position tonight. The first of the Pro-Ams, followed by James Lawrence and Aaron Schotter in the 6th position. But here we go. We'll go through your place getters tonight. So as I just said, Christopher Island in the P number 1, a dominant night at the office by the 23 DPR Simrigs.com car, 4.2 seconds the better. Harry Dodds in 2nd position in the 981, and Andrew Dyson coming home in 3rd in the number 41. Brad Cooper coming home in 4th, the best of your Pro-Am. James Lawrence in 5th position, 2nd in your Pro-Am. Aaron Schotter in your Pro, and Alexander Ganotis actually in your Pro-Am. We'll be talking to him tonight as well, hopefully. He was the 3rd place in the Pro-Am in 7th. Dwayne Burns, Jason Martin, your winner of Pro-Am in race number 1 in 9th, and Brad Fenley, your 2nd place in the championship in the Pro, coming home in 10th, Steve.
Yeah, in 11th place, Stephen Banks. Josh Mickelmore in 12th, then Peter Pavlovic, Robbie Bradbury, Paul Drady, Carl Withy bringing it home 16th after a couple of little incidents there. Bobby Camo eventually bringing it home 17th. Ben Wilkes in 18th, Riley Curtis 19th, and Ryan Jones rounds out your top 20.
21st position tonight was Mark Smith, 17 laps down. Joshua Fit, after having a really good race number one, getting a podium, coming home in 22nd, caught up in that incident earlier. Dave Douglas, a similar incident in 23rd, and rounding out your 24-car field tonight was Jamie Nankervis in the car 8. But we'll go to your ads. We'll thank all the sponsors. We've done enough talking for the moment. We'll let the guys just go and cool down and get ready in the green room before we have a chat to them, and we'll go to your sponsors and thank everyone that makes this available here to be able to bring all this action to you before we talk to all the place getters here for round number 12 of the Everything Stimulated GT3 series here from the Redbull Ring.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
And welcome back. Oh, sorry.
We talked over each other. That was good.
Yeah,
Do
I
that
talked over you for a change. Here we go.
right. You go.
Welcome back to round 12 of the Aussie Outlaws Everything Simulated GT3 series from Redbull Ring. And we are done and dusted here for the night with 2 races out of the way. And that second race was pretty exciting stuff from the full reverse grid. And second place in the AM class is James Lawrence. Now, third place was Jason Martin. We don't have Jason with us. So we're going to speak to James Lawrence from the Antic team. Mate, second place, a 1-2 for Antic.
Yeah, good result, and congrats to Brad on his, I think, first win in the league. So yeah, good effort by him, and good effort by us. But yeah, I'm not really happy with tonight. I had a lot more pace in practice than what happened out there tonight. So I'll just take the result and move on to next week, I think, or next round.
Yeah, no worry. Well, you started ninth in that one from the reverse grid. You've finished 5th overall and 2nd in the AM class. So it's certainly not a bad result. It's a pretty decent one. You're sort of talking about not being happy. What in particular about the performance tonight left you cold?
I just had no speed. I should have been at least half a second, 3/4 of a second quicker than what I was. So I don't know what happened, but I'll take the second place in race 2, and like I said, we'll just move on to Spa next round and see if we can go back to how it was before.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, mate, look, you're there and you got the points. I mean, you got to take it where you can get it, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm not overly unhappy, but I've had a better race nights than this. So
race drivers always think they can do better than they did, no matter what happens.
I'll take the points, like you said.
No worries, mate. Look, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, again, Brad for his first win. Our team, Antic Motorsport, Simrigs.com, SibMagic, France, Mayflaws, Apex Racing Academy, and Shot Graphics. And thanks to Gianni and Aidan and Steve for the broadcast, and Mark for the league.
No worries at all. Okay, thanks very much. Congratulations again, second place in the AM class, James Lawrence. We've actually got Jason Martin with us, so we'll have a quick chat with Jason now he's here, and take care of the AM class. Third place, Jason Martin. And how'd you see your second race tonight, mate, after a win in race 1?
Oh yeah, real happy with tonight's results. Didn't expect that at all. I don't like this track, and normally the Audi's pretty bad here, so I didn't expect much. And yeah, turn 1, I got into a bit, or second turn, can't remember what it was, got into a bit of trouble and got put to the end of the field pretty much, so just worked my way up during the race.
Well, from 16th to 9th on that, after that, out of that reverse grid, it's another good fistful of points to sort of help keep you where you are at the top of the standings there for the AM class. So that's always something to be happy about.
Yep, like I said, I wasn't expecting much, so to get such good points haul tonight, I'm real happy with that.
And I got to mention it, Josh Micklemore, your partner in crime, had a pretty decent second race there, and almost squeaked into the top 10, but Brad Fenley just edged him out.
Yeah, I think he probably could have done better, but he had too many incident points, so he had to let a few people by. He couldn't race anyone.
Oh, well, look, mate, give some shout out to some people, thanks some people, and pay some bills.
Yeah, the boys at Mitch Motorsports, our sponsor, Leppy Motorsports Concepts. Well done to you guys for the broadcast. Thanks for doing that for everyone. Yeah.
All right, no worries. Look, congratulations again, Jason Martin, the leader of the AM Class Championship. 9th overall, started 16th there, and 3rd place in the AM Class. So fantastic stuff, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
Yep, cheers, mate.
All right, I'll throw it over to Aidan now, and he can actually interview Brad Cooper, who won the AM Class.
Yeah, winner of the AM class, Brad Cooper. Good evening to you, mate. Tell you what, that was an interesting race, fighting it with the pros at the front. You were trying to send it on Dodsey for about 5 or 6 laps there, couldn't quite get the job done as Dodsey was driving a really good race, but you got to be happy you're coming home tonight after you didn't win the first race in the AM, but the 30-minute feature race, you got the job done, mate, and big championship bag of points going into round 13.
Yeah, it was a really good race with Hodds. I was having issues with my brake pedal, so my haptic pedal kept vibrating even when I wasn't on brake, so I couldn't tell if I was on ABS or not. But no, it was a good race, and yeah.
Well, we could see that your Ford Mustang looked really, really good under brakes, actually. You looked stronger under brakes over Harry, and he was probably overdriving the car a little bit in his Merc and not sort of rotating through the middle of the corner and allowing you to sort of get the exit, but you just didn't quite have enough to be able to get past him. Was that the brake pedal with you not, is that you not having the confidence on the brake pedal coming down into the heavy braking zones? We did see earlier as well, Dodsey made a big mistake on the heavy downhill braking zone into turn number 3, and it's very easy to lock the rears. So you looked quicker, but you just couldn't quite get the job done. So that brake pedal was obviously playing a factor.
Yeah, it was, and he had sort of bad rotation in, but he had good straight line speed. So I think he had a lesser wing angle than I did. But no, it was good getting out of the corners, but I just couldn't get the power down in certain corners to get past him.
Well, Brad, good job tonight, mate. We won't keep you too long. Give you a chance. Big shout out. Everyone that pays bills, big sponsors, as Steve says. Big shout out, your first win, as I hear, in the Pro-Am class. So big congratulations, mate. Well done. That's got to feel good. But your time to shout out to everyone involved.
Yeah, just all our sponsors, simrigs.com, SimMagic, France May Floors, Apex Racing, and Shock Graphics, and the boys in our team. And you guys for the broadcast, and Mark for the league.
No worries, mate. So there's your winner of the Pro-Am class, Bradley Cooper. I must say, Brad, the best looking Mustang I've ever seen. That is an amazing livery. Just saying. So Brad Cooper in the 4th position, but we'll go across really quickly now to the pro drivers. Andrew Dyson, good evening to you, legend. 3rd place, mate. The McLaren didn't quite have it around this track tonight. DPR very dominant at the top, but big chunk of championship points here for round 12 with 3 to go.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think the other boys all had a good night as well, who are sort of up there for a championship. So, no, it's good. It's good to get out and have a good race with the boys. And congrats to Chris and Brad on the W's.
So what's the thing with DPR at the moment? So we see your guys, I know this is like some fun and stuff like that, what you do, like very talented sim racers, but you're in the McLaren. We saw Christopher Island in the Porsche. We've a lot of you guys in different cars, went 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first race. Just trying out some different stuff and driving different cars. Is that what it's about?
I guess, normally as a team, we normally race Porsche if we're doing special events or any sort of GT3 stuff, so that's sort of our go-to, and it's, I don't know, I guess it's all our favourite car, really. So that's sort of a given that someone's going to be in that. For myself and the McLaren, I sort of chose it as something different. It's not very popular, so I thought I'd represent something slightly different out there for a bit of fun and just to mix up the field a bit, sort of make photos look good and whatever, I suppose. And I think the other one we've got different is Ryan in a Corvette, and I think he chose a Corvette because he thought that was going to be elite when it first came out, but he was pretty upset with it, so I was a bit understeery and stuff, but it actually is pretty good, so he goes right sometimes as well.
Yeah, Ryan, really good. He had a really good first race and unlucky in the second race, and made his way up. But Daiso, no surprise to see you in the podium, up in the top 3 in the championship standings. 3 rounds to go. You got to be happy with that. Obviously, Christopher Island definitely showing his wares at the moment, and he was absolutely dominant tonight. And I'm sure you're going to want to, even though he's a teammate, I'm sure you're going to want to show him a little bit of a favour back next week at round number 13.
I don't know about showing him a favour back. It'd at least be nice to get amongst it and race with him. But I'm not really getting close enough to him. So if I can at least get close enough and make a race of it, that'll be cool. And we'll see how we go.
Yeah, cool, Daiso. No worries, mate. Big congratulations on P3. A big chunk of championship points. Always good to chat to you, mate. But a big shout out to everyone involved.
Yep, thanks, boys. And thanks everyone who gets amongst it, like you said. And thanks everyone who puts it on.
No worries, Steve-O. Across to Dodsey. You can have a chat to Dodsey. I really wanted to, but I'll let you have a chat to Dodsey P2 tonight in the Merc.
Oh, come on, it's always a good chat with you, mate.
I'll have a chat after. Let's just baby steps, mate. Across to you, Steve-O. Well, Steve-O's gone, so we do have a chat now. That went well. That was
great.
well, can we go back and throw you under the bus for a minute before we talk about the good part of your second race? Race number 1, lock the rears into the downhill braking section in the Merc, mate. You can't park there, mate.
Well, I wouldn't say I locked the rears. I'd more say I had to really check up the car because someone was coming across my nose. So yeah, I don't know what the story was there, but yeah, it was a very tough first race. The car was a rocket ship though. Like I didn't expect to be that quick in this car, considering it's one of my best tracks, but it's not a good car track combo when you pick the Merc for this place. It's a very, very tough track to get around because you can't change. You got very limited options when it comes to the Mercedes in this circuit, so really I had to rely on just track knowledge and straight line speed, really, which was going to be my go-to to get around this joint. And get paid off in race 2, and look where I ended up.
If we talk in hindsight, that was probably a blessing in disguise because it put you off the front of race number 2, or at least up the front, and it allowed you to sort of go off into the distance. I tell you what, though, Brad did not let you have it his own way, or your own way rather. He was right in behind you, and I thought at any moment he was going to be able to make a move, but I tell you what, you did a good job to be able to fight him off and hold on P2.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to drive my line, just manage my tyres while trying to stretch the lead like inch by inch as much as possible. But yeah, it was because this track was all about rear traction and just managing your rear tyres, and yeah, so it was big credit to Brad for a pro AM driver. Like he was super quick tonight, and yeah, I was just trying to get away from him while managing my rubber at the same time, which is definitely, those two do not go together, but that's besides the point.
Well, you did a great job, mate. P2 in race number 1, unfortunate in race. P2 in race number 2, rather. P nowhere in race number 1, but unfortunate. But mate, we're not going to keep you too long. Big shout out to everyone involved, mate. It's good to see you in the new team and actually kicking goals as well, and good to see you healthy and all that type of stuff, mate. So shout out to everyone involved, mate.
Big shout out to you guys for the broadcast. That was a great job by you and Kobe in the broadcast, both with Steve. Also the Pacific Esports boys, still gelling really well with the boys. I've been there I think for about a month and a half now, through SRW now and so forth, and other leagues. Lake Edge Holiday Units, One Shot Pest Management in Ulladulla, Bin to Play for Barwon Foundation, W Energy Drinks, Play One Sing Gear, and Tim Nickel Photography.
No worries, mate. Big congratulations once again on your P2 tonight. Big championship points haul coming into round number 13 next week. Good to talk to you again. I'll send you a PM tomorrow, I think. But good to talk to you, mate. And congratulations on your P2 tonight.
Just be careful which time of the day you message me, mate, because I'm a bit busy at work at the moment. It's flat out.
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. I'm messaging her at 4 a.m. That's it. Anyway, Dodsey in the 981.
I'll be asleep still.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't answer me. But anyway, great job tonight, mate, in the P2. We'll go across to Chris Island. Chris, mate, P1 in the pro class tonight. Seriously, what did you eat for breakfast?
Oh, nothing. So I think I might have to change my diet, boys.
I think you might have to hook it up, mate. Like, change it up, because you said it was planted out of race number 1. Started the rear of the field in the 23 simrigs.com Porsche. and just drove through the field. It wasn't as easy as it was. Like we all know, like I said it in the broadcast, and you go back and watch it. It's easy to catch a car sometimes, but it's a lot harder to pass. And when you got into the top 3, 4, 5, or 6 people, you really had to work for that. But once you got through that, 3 or 4 seconds up the road, you went and you were gone.
Yeah, yeah. Look, it was a good battle. It was I had some good fights with some of the cars. Some proper dives. But that's just what you got to do in these things, right? They're so on the limit the whole time. If you don't have a dip, then you're not going to make a move. Simple as that. So, yeah. Look, it definitely wasn't easy, and it was a bit touch and go towards the end. I was pretty close with my my incident points, to be honest, further towards the end. So, I've got to really watch out on that next race. But yeah, no, it was good. It was tough, but it was a good one.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see.
Next round, we're going to be talking to the bookies and the handicappers to see what weight to put on you.
like the old truck series, mate. You've got to put some lead in the back of the car. But before we talk further, Chris, and we will wrap this up very shortly, Kobe, if you can bring up the championship points, what we had coming into the round. This is a big championship haul of points for you as well. Daiso up in the top 3. We did see Brad Fenley in the top 2. So coming into the round, Stephen Banks didn't have the best round tonight. I don't know if you're watching the broadcast at the moment, Chris, but Stephen Banks come in with 885, Brad Fenley 819, Andrew Dyson with 795. Jonesy, Bradbury, and then yourself with 574. Obviously, probably not close enough to be able to fight for the win, but 2 wins, big haul of championship points. We saw tonight Dyson come 3rd, so he's going to get a big haul of points. Brad Fenley not with a good night at all, and Steve Banks the same. So Steve Banks in the second race finished down in the 11th position. So yes, we've got Pro and we've got Pro-Am, but it's an overall championship as well. Do you think if you keep on this momentum, you've got something to be able to fight for the championship?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's something you don't think about it race to race, right? Race to race, you're just thinking, okay, got to maximize the opportunities that you get. But I mean, I keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll just have to see where the points lie out at the end of the day. It's unfortunate because Wednesday nights sometimes I'm a bit busy, so I'm unable to sort of attend these races. But I think my schedule should be looking pretty clear for the rest of the season. So, you know, if I can keep having days like this, nights like this, certainly something that could potentially be in the picture. 300 points is a big margin to claw back on, but couple of results that go my way, and it could be in with a shot. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I'm not thinking about it. It's not on my mind right now. Just yeah, keep maximising the points at every race, and just have to wait and see what happens.
If you keep going the way you're going, mate, you'll definitely be there or thereabouts. But Christopher Island, big congratulations, mate, on your P1 with an absolute dominant performance here at the Red Bull Ring in that simrigs.com Porsche, mate. Big shout out to everyone involved.
Yeah, of course. First off, shout out to you boys for putting on the broadcast and you know, producing it and everything as well. So there's actually a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. So you know, all the beautiful overlays, all the nice sponsor work, all the communications with the sponsors. You know, you boys deserve a huge shout out for putting this on. I mean, we turn up to a league that's free every night, every Wednesday night, that we can just rock up to and have a bit of fun. So yeah, big shout out to you boys and Mark for putting the league on. But in terms of sponsors, not too many to go through. I'll shout out as well. I'll shout out the boys over in DPR. Specifically Harry Hogg for the setup tonight. It was absolutely incredible. That car was on rails the entire time. It was an absolute pleasure to drive, and it definitely carried me to where I was. And a huge shout out to Daiso, Ryan and Joshy for coming out tonight and having a bit of fun. James Glasspool was going to turn up, but unfortunately had something pop up last minute, so he couldn't attend. But yeah, big shout out to those boys at DPR. They make just make these things enjoyable, right? Just good to have a chinwag with someone. In terms of sponsors, big shout out to NP Designs. Makes beautiful Porsche liveries. In the process of updating them as well with the new spec maps that have come out. So we'll see how they look. But yeah, big shout out to NP Designs. The cars look absolutely incredible. And if you need any design work, get onto that for sure. Southwell Lifts and Hoists and Ben Max Mechanical.
Big congratulations once again, Chris, and everyone that just listened to that. Jump on and support the people that support us here in the iRacing community, i.e. The livery designers and everyone that Chris just mentioned with the supporters. Jump on and support them, because if they don't get amongst it, we don't go racing. So Chris, from us and everyone at the broadcast booth here from the Aussie Outlaws GT3 Racing Series, big congratulations on what was a dominant night tonight.
Thanks, fellas, and thanks for the broadcast, please.
No worries, mate. There we go, Steve. Your winner, Christopher Ireland, the Pro Series winner here for round number 12 of the GT3 Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated, of course, brought to you by Aussie Outlaws. We'll just bring up those overlays again, Kobe, if we can, please, and just thank everyone that's involved, i.e. Mark Johansson, etc., and who makes this available, and especially if you want to get involved in this league. So a big special thanks, of course, as you can see on your screen, to league owner Mark Johansson for making this available. You can go on to AussieOutlaws.com and have a look at the website if you want to be a part of this as well. Interested in becoming a sponsor? We can tailor a package to suit you, so Mark will be able to do that as well. So if you want to become a sponsor, you can contact us at AussieOutlawsRacing@gmail.com. So drop a little bit of a line in there and they'll be able to help you out. Of course, if you want to be a driver, go on to Aussie Outlaws GT3 Racing, Liga ID number in iRacing of 8718, and they will accept you, and you can be a part of this and maybe talk to us in the broadcast booth in the coming weeks. Show your support, stay up to date, www.aussieoutlaws.com, of course Facebook, aussieoutlaws.com on Facebook, and of course YouTube, aussieoutlaws.com/YouTube. Next race is Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. Circuit Spa. Looking forward to that one, Steve, for round number 13. But that's now round number 12 done. I won't keep you any longer, ladies and gentlemen. It was the number 23 of Christopher Ireland from DPRSimrigs.com taking the win in the Pro tonight, and it was Brad Cooper in the AM in the final race. But from myself, everyone here on the broadcast networks, we look forward to seeing you for round number 13 at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps next week, and we'll see whether Christopher Ireland can go back to back.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.